Combating violent crime with slower streets and better lighting. Thanks for joining us at 5:30. I'm Mike Dardis.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. Cincinnati's mayor says everything is on the table after a drive-by shooting injured 3 kids last weekend over the Rhine. WLWT News 5 Todd Dykes is live on East McMicken Avenue with what the city might do to try to prevent more gun violence as the summer heats up. Todd?
Well, Ashley and Mike, lessons from a similar explosion of bullets last summer could serve as a kind of crystal ball for people who live and work in this part of Over the Rhine, just a block north of Liberty Street. Like many people who spend their days near Grant Park and Over the Rhine, Melissa Blowers can't shake the sound of last week's drive-by shooting that injured 4 people, including 3 kids, ages 10, 14, and 15.
It was shocking, and the noise alone, it was just so loud and jarring.
Blowers heard the bullets fly while working at Wesley Chapel Mission Center.
We serve over 250 kids in the neighborhood, and they're always down here on this street, so safety is a major concern for us.
Mayor Aftab Pureval says in the aftermath of last week's shooting, he's heard those concerns and is intent on taking action.
Absolutely, there are issues of lawlessness.
In an effort to fight the kind of lawlessness that rocked this part of OTR last week, Pureval may rip a page out of the playbook the city used after gunshots left 8 bystanders injured last summer on Main Street.
We put up bike racks in order to prevent loitering. We closed off the street because so much of the violence there was due to drag racing and pedestrian safety issues.
Police also boosted lighting and added patrols along Main Street.
Those are the tactics that we are likely to deploy in this area as well. We've already initiated a traffic study to make sure that we can slow cars down in that area where that drive-by occurred.
Melissa Blowers likes the idea of slower traffic, but wonders what impact bike racks and bright lights might have.
I don't know if we can control the personal disputes that happen with bright lights, but I guess it could help.
Now, I reached out to the city manager's office today to find out more information about the traffic study that Mayor Pureval mentioned, including the time frame, what specific streets are going to be studied, and also when those results will be made to the public. No response so far. When we have any more information to share, we'll be certain to pass it along. Reporting live tonight in Over the Rhine, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
Now, Todd, did you have a chance to talk to people on Main Street today to see what they think about measures deployed after by police after last summer's shooting cases there?
Ashley, I chatted with about a half a dozen people who are on Main Street. They were just kind of about and about today. They live and work there. They're not thrilled with what the city did in the wake of last August shooting. They told me they felt as if they're the ones being penalized, even though they say people who seem intent on causing trouble are coming from somewhere else. So a difficult situation for a lot of folks. Of course, that's not a huge sample of the people along Main Street, but a half dozen nonetheless. Ashley?
Todd Dykes reporting live for us tonight. Thanks so much, Todd.